Hi everybody, this is Crystal. So today I'm going to show you how to make this super cute, really easy newborn baby beanie to bring that baby home from the hospital in. It's really pretty easily. It's mostly single crochet. It does have a couple post stitches, but I show you how to do that, so don't be intimidated by it. But I think it turned out real cute. Just think that little baby in that. I like it. So as always, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to spread the word about Bagoday Crochet. Also, it's always helpful if you could watch this video from start to finish, and don't forget to give it a big thumbs up if you enjoy. So let's go ahead and get started on this. Okay, for this project I am using Yarn Bee Sweet Divinity. It is a medium weight number 4 yarn. And it's an acrylic and nylon blend, 80% acrylic, 20% nylon, but you don't have to use this yarn. Any medium 4-weight yarn will work just fine. There's 243 yards in this ball, and that will be plenty. The color I'm using, if you're interested, is called Amber Waves. And then I'm going to be using a size H, which is a 5mm crochet hook. And you'll probably only need about 50, maybe 60 yards of this, 60 to be safe, of this yarn to make one hat. Alright, we want to start off with a slip knot on our hook. Now, if you want to use the magic circle here, that's fine too. I don't ever use the magic circle because I'm not very good at it. But you can certainly use it if you know how. But otherwise, we're going to start with a chain of 3. 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to slip stitch into that first stitch to form a little ring there, like that. And now I'm going to chain 1. Now that chain 1 does not count as a stitch. I'm going to be working through the center of the ring right there, and I'm going to work 6 single crochets. So I'm going to go right through the center of the ring, and I'm going to single crochet 6 times. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there's 6. Now usually you can pull your tail and close up that center circle a little bit more, and then later on we can sew it together the rest of the way. So at the end of row 1, we're not going to slip stitch it. You should have 6 stitches. What we're going to do is we're going to use a stitch marker. I'm just going to use this piece of yarn here, and I'm going to put it right here. That way I know where I begin, what round, where it begins and where it ends. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to be working in the back loops of our stitches now, all the way down until we get to the brim of the hat. We're going to be working in the back loops only. So we're going to jump right over here to our very first single crochet we did, not this chain 1, but the first single crochet, and we're going to go into the back loop and we're going to work 2 single crochets through it. So if you look at your stitch, there is 2 loops. Each stitch has 2 loops. The one closest to you is the front loop, and the one furthest away is the back loop. We are going to go into that back loop only, just like that, and work 2 single crochets into that same stitch. Now I'm going to jump to the next stitch, and I'm going to work in the back loop only 2 single crochets. And that's what I'm going to do in every stitch all the way around. So I'm going to jump to the next one, back loop only, and I'm going to work 2 single crochets. Again, back loop only of the next stitch, 2 single crochets. And we're going to do this all the way around until we get to our stitch marker. 2 single crochets in the back loop only of every stitch. Okay, I'm coming up here to my last stitch. And once you make it back to your stitch marker, round 2, you should have 12 stitches now. Okay, now I'm going to move my marker up and place it right here behind my last stitch, like that. Okay, count back and make sure I'm going into the right stitch. Okay, again, working in the back loop only, I'm going to jump right here to the next stitch starting round 3, and I'm going to work 1 single crochet, just 1 single crochet into the back loop. And then the next stitch, back loop only, 2 single crochets. Next stitch, back loop only, 1 single crochet. And then the next stitch, back loop only, 2 single crochets. So that's the repeat for round 3, working in the back loops only of every stitch. It's going to be 1 single crochet into the next stitch, and then 2 singles into the next. One single into the next. Remember, we're just working in the back loops. And 2 singles into the next. And we're going to work this until we get to our stitch marker. In your last stitch here before the stitch marker should be 2 single crochets into the back loop of the same stitch, just like that. That'll end round 3, and now you have a total of 18 stitches. So we're going to go ahead and move our marker up, and now we're going to start round 4, working in the back loop only. Still, we're going to put 1 single crochet in the back loop of the first 2 stitches. So there's 1 single crochet. Go to the next one, 1 single crochet, and then the next one gets 2 single crochets through the back loop. And that's what we're going to repeat all the way around now for round 4. 1 single crochet through the back loop of the next 2 stitches. And then 2 single crochets in the back loop of the next stitch. And repeat that again. 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches, back loop only. And then 2 single crochets into the next. So I'm going to repeat this pattern all the way around until I get back to my stitch marker. Alright, I've made it to my stitch marker. Your last stitch should have had 2 double crochets in the back loop of it, and that'll end round 4, and now you should have a total of 24 stitches. So I'm going to go ahead and move my stitch marker up, and we're going to start round 5. And now we're going to put 1 single crochet in the back loop only of the first 3 stitches now. Make sure you're going in the back loop only. There's 1. Go to the next one. There's 2, and then the next one, there's 3. Now the next stitch will get 2 single crochets in the same stitch, back loop only. And that's what we're going to repeat now for round 5. 1 single crochet, back loop only into the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3. And then 2 single crochets, back loop only of the next stitch. And I'm going to repeat this pattern all the way around until I get back to my stitch marker. Okay, I've made it to the end of round 5, your last stitch should have had 2 single crochets in the back loop only, and you should have a total of 30 stitches now. I'm going to move my stitch marker up, and now I'm going to start again working in the back loop only still, 1 single crochet into the first 4 stitches now. So we're starting round 6. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the next stitch is going to put 2 single crochets into the same stitch, back loop only. And that's what we're going to repeat now for round 6. 1 single crochet, back loop of the next 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 2 single crochets into the next stitch, back loop only. So that's the pattern I'm going to repeat now for round 6 all the way around till I get back to my stitch marker. Okay, I've made it to the end of round 6. 2 single crochets in the back loop of your last stitch. You have a total of 36 stitches now. Go ahead and move your stitch marker up, and we will start round 7 working in the back loops only, 1 single crochet into the first 5 stitches. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then 2 single crochets into the next stitch, back loop only, 1, 2, and that's the pattern we're going to repeat now for round 7. Back loop only, 1 single crochet into the next 5. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 2 single crochets into the next, back loop only, 1 and 2. So that's the pattern I'm going to repeat now for round 7 till I get back to my stitch marker. Alright, I've made it to the end of round 7. 2 single crochet, back loop only in your last stitch. Go ahead and move your stitch marker up, and you should have 42 stitches now. Now we'll start round 8 working in the back loop only. You guessed it, 1 single crochet in the first 6 stitches. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 2 single crochets into the next, back loop only. And now that's the pattern we're going to repeat now for round 8. 1 single crochet, back loop only of the next 6 stitches, and then 2 single crochets into the next, back loop only, all the way around until you get back to your stitch marker. Alright, I've made it to the end of round 8, and I ended my 2 single crochets there in the back loop only. I'm going to go ahead and pull my stitch marker up, and now you should have a total of 48 stitches. Round 9, we're going to start out back loop only, 1 single crochet into the first 7 stitches. This is round 9. There's 7, and then 2 single crochets into the back loop of the next, and that's what we're going to repeat now for round 9. 1 single crochet into the next 7, back loop only, and then 2 single crochets into the next, all the way around until you get back to your stitch marker. Alright, I made it to the end of round 9. 2 single crochets there in my last stitch, and I'm going to go ahead and move my stitch marker up, and you should have 54 stitches now. So now we're going to start round 10, and we're going to put 1 single crochet, back loop only, into the first 8 stitches. And then 2 single crochets in the back loop only of the next stitch. So that is a repeat now for round 10. 1 single crochet back loop only into the next 8 stitches, and then 2 single crochets into the next back loop only, all the way around until you get back to your stitch marker. Alright, I've made it to the end of round 10, and you should have a total of 60 stitches now. So we're going to go ahead and move our stitch marker up. Now we're not going to increase anymore. So round 11 is going to be the repeat round now until we get down to the brim of the hat. So all it is now is just 1 single crochet in every stitch in the back loop only. So we won't be putting 2 single crochets in the same stitch anymore. We're just going to work 1 single crochet in every stitch all the way around until you get back to your stitch marker. When you get back to your stitch marker, you'll have 60 stitches still. You'll always have 60 stitches now. And then you just move your marker up and you continue around again, doing the same thing. 1 single crochet in every stitch all the way around. The more rounds you do, you'll start seeing your hat kind of taking hat shape. So I'm just going to keep doing rounds of 1 single crochet in every stitch until I get my hat a bit longer. I'm not quite sure how many rounds that I'm going to do, but remember we're on round 11 right now. When I get to my stitch marker, I'll have 60 stitches, and I'll just pull my marker up and start again on round 12 doing the same thing. 1 single crochet, back loop only in every stitch. I'm just going to keep doing rounds of that. All right, I've made it here to the end, and I have done a total of 23 rounds, and that is starting from round 1. So I repeated round 11 until I hit a total from up here, starting at round 1, 23. Okay, so I'm here at my stitch marker, and I'm going to go ahead and pull it out because I'm not going to use it anymore. You should still have your 60 stitches. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slip stitch into the next stitch. Now I'm not going to be working through the back loop only anymore. Okay, so I'm going to end round 23 by slip stitching into the next stitch after I pulled out my stitch marker, going through both loops. Just like that. So now what I'm going to do is chain 1, and I'm going to work a half double crochet into that same stitch. So I'm going to yarn over, go into that same stitch, and I'm going to work a half double like that. And now I'm going to work a half double crochet in every stitch all the way around. Here, this is round 24. So remember, we're not just working through the back loops anymore. We're going through both loops. And I'm working a half double crochet in every stitch. Just like this. So round 24 is 1 half double crochet in every stitch until we get back to our starting point. All right, I've made it back around at the end of round 24, and you still should have 60 stitches. Now we're going to end by slip stitching into the top of our very first half double crochet. Like that. Round 25, we are going to chain 1. Now we're going to go back into that same spot right there that we just slip stitched into and do a half double crochet. And now we're going to work a front post half double crochet around the post of the next stitch. So this stitch right here, we're going to yarn over like we're going to do a half double. We're going to go around the post of it like that, and then we're going to do a half double crochet. And now we're going to put a half double crochet, regular half double, into the top of the next stitch. And now we're going to do a front post half double crochet around the post of the next stitch. So go ahead and yarn over, go around the post of the next stitch, and not into the top of it, but around the post like that. And then go ahead and do your half double crochet. And now we're going to do a regular half double into the next stitch. And then a front post half double into the next. A regular half double into the top of the next. And then front post half double into the next. And that's what we're going to repeat now all the way around. And that's what it starts to look like. It just gives a little bit of decoration there for the brim, some post stitches. Half double into the top of the next. And then a front post half double around the post of the next, like that. So now I'm just going to keep repeating this pattern of half double crochet, and then front post half double crochet. Half double crochet and front post half double crochet all the way around until we get back to our starting point. All right, I've come to the end of round 25. Your last stitch should have been a front post half double crochet, and now we're going to end by slip stitching into our first half double crochet. And now you should have 60 stitches still. Okay, now I'm going to chain one, and I'm just going to put one, I'm going to finish it. This will be the last round, round 26. I'm going to put one single crochet in every stitch around. So I'm going to go right back in the same stitch, single crochet. And now I'm going to work one single, going through both loops of every stitch all the way around until I get back to the beginning. Just like that. So one single all the way around until you get back to your starting point. Okay, once you make it all the way around, you still should have 60 stitches. Go ahead and end by slip stitching into your first single crochet. That'll end round 26, and then you want to just go ahead and tie that yarn off and hide that tail. Okay, once you get all your tails hidden, that is it. That's all there is to it. Super cute little beanie to bring the little guy or the little gal home from the hospital in. So I hope you enjoyed my tutorial. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and check me out on Facebook too. I'll put a link to that below in the description box. And if you look over on the right hand side of the screen, there's a couple more videos there you might be interested in watching, a couple more tutorials. But until next time, have a good day.